I'm Bevan with Global Cast Resources. I want to just speak to missions mobilizers, missions leaders, missions advocates about our heart and the body of Christ. This is an important issue too that we keep coming back to and re-examining is how am I doing in terms of my attitude, my perspective on the body of Christ, the bride of Christ, the church. Because many times we have been serving and there can be disappointment, there can be dysfunctions, and worse, that really impacts us deeply. And so it can rise up in us this temptation to say, I still love Jesus, but I don't like the church. I've actually seen people say it that strongly. I love Jesus, but I hate the church. And, many of us would cringe when we hear that because from Jesus's perspective, at least, that church is his bride. Corporately, together, we are the bride of Christ. And can you imagine somebody saying, I like you, but I hate your wife? Well, that would bring up issues within yourself as to how you feel about that person. And so we're not talking about being in denial. We're not talking about pretending that there aren't issues. What we are talking about is coming back to Jesus and asking for the grace to forgive and coming back and saying, Jesus, can you give me perspective, your perspective on your bride and your dreams for her? Yes, there are warts and wrinkles, but how can we together prepare the bride of Christ to become all that she's called to be and to co-labor with you to take back nations? And so this is a key thing that we have to continually maintain, I think, because there are bumps and bruises along the way. This is the body of Christ is made up of all kinds of flawed human beings, and there are real disappointments. And yet we can say, Jesus, give me your perspective on a regular basis. And this is so essential because whether we're going to the front lines to plant the church or staying on the home front to mobilize the church, we need to be doing it from a place of love, right? To actually say, I am doing this because I love Jesus and I know he loves his bride. And so let's build that into our spiritual life. Regular checkup to say, how am I doing in my attitude toward the bride of Christ?
Mentoring missions advocates. This is globalcastresources.com.